Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, Siddhi Day, Part 3. From Nirodbaran, continued. Finally came the 24th of November. Even from early in the morning, there were some who had already sensed that something very great was to happen that day. The morning passed, so did the afternoon. Nothing happened. In the evening, a few of the sadhaks had gone for a walk along the beach, while the others sat waiting for me in the ashram. Suddenly the mother came out and said that she would like to see everybody. So everyone was called. They gathered in the upstairs veranda of the library house. What followed is too well known for me to relate. Even you have heard about it, I am sure. Yes, we have. Soon after 7 in the evening, both the mother and you arrived. You were wearing a silk dhoti, and a chadar was draped over your shoulder. The mother was dressed in a beautiful silk sari. When you took your usual chair, she sat down on a low stool at your feet. Love, light, and joy were flowing out of you. All the disciples in turn first bowed to the mother, and when she blessed them by placing her hand on their heads, you put your hand on hers, so that through her it was you also who were blessing them. No one spoke. There was no sound. The whole atmosphere was bathed in a profound peace and silence. After half an hour, the two of you left. A little while later, somebody announced that you had conquered death, disease, and the need for food and sleep. Sri Aurobindo, I don't know from whose lips fell those splendid revelations. All I can say is that there was the descent of Sri Krishna's or the divine consciousness into the mother and me. What does that mean? Asked Rohit. Sri Aurobindo, it means a great deal. But this much I can tell you, which I am sure you will follow, that this descent rendered possible what I am trying to do, to bring down the supramental consciousness. It was the descent of the overmind consciousness, and it made the coming of the supermind possible. Therefore, this day is called the Day of Realization, the Siddhi Day. Question. But didn't you already have the vision of Sri Krishna when you were in prison? Sri Aurobindo. To have a vision is one thing. To bring down that consciousness into the body or into matter is quite another. The two are worlds apart. One may have a vision in one part of the being, for example, in the mind or in the vital, but to experience it permanently in the physical consciousness and feel it constantly in the body is something that is possible only when one has reached a very high degree of spiritual realization. Now what remained for me to do was to bring down the supermind, and it is for that purpose that I had to withdraw and work from behind the veil. Do you follow me? Not really, answered Rohit frankly. Sri Aurobindo. It doesn't matter. More from Nirodbaran. From the beginning of November 1926, the pressure of the higher power began to be unbearable. Then at last the great day, the day for which the mother had been waiting for so many long years, arrived on 24th November. The sun had almost set, and everyone was occupied with his own activity. Some had gone out to the seaside for a walk. When the mother sent word to all the disciples to assemble as soon as possible in the veranda, where the usual meditation was held, it did not take long for the message to go round to all. By 6 o'clock, most of the disciples had gathered. It was becoming dark. In the veranda, on the wall near Sri Aurobindo's door, just behind his chair, a black silk curtain with gold lacework representing 3 Chinese dragons was hung. The 3 dragons were so represented that the tail of one reached up to the mouth of the other, and the 3 of them covered the curtain from end to end. We came to know afterwards that there is a prophecy in China that the truth will manifest itself on earth when the 3 dragons, the dragons of the earth, of the mid-region, and of the sky, meet. Today, on 24th November, the truth was descending, and the hanging of the curtain was significant. There was a deep silence in the atmosphere after the disciples had gathered there. Many saw an oceanic flood of light rushing down from above. Everyone present felt a kind of pressure above his head. The whole atmosphere was surcharged with some electrical energy. In that silence, in that atmosphere full of concentrated expectation and aspiration, in the electrically charged atmosphere, the usual, yet on this day quite unusual, tick was heard behind the door of the entrance. Expectation rose in a flood. Sri Aurobindo and the mother could be seen through the half-open door. The mother, with the gesture of her eyes, requested Sri Aurobindo to step out first. Sri Aurobindo, with a similar gesture, suggested to her to do the same. With a slow, dignified step, the mother came out first, followed by Sri Aurobindo with his majestic gait. The small table that used to be in front of Sri Aurobindo's chair was removed this day. The mother sat on a small stool to his right. Silence, absolute, living silence, not merely living but overflowing with divinity. The meditation lasted about 45 minutes. After that, one by one, the disciples bowed to the mother. She and Sri Aurobindo gave blessings to them. Whenever a disciple bowed to the mother, Sri Aurobindo's right hand came forward behind the mother's, as if blessing him through the mother. After the blessings, in the same silence, there was a short meditation. In the interval of silent meditation and blessings, many had distinct experiences. When all was over, they felt as if they had awakened from a divine dream. Then they felt the grandeur, the poetry, and the absolute beauty of the occasion. It was not as if a handful of disciples were receiving blessings from their Supreme Master, and the Mother in one little corner of the earth. The significance of the occasion was far greater than that. It was certain that a higher consciousness had descended on earth. In that deep silence had burgeoned forth, like the sprout of a banyan tree, the beginning of a mighty spiritual work. This momentous occasion carried its significance to all in the divine dynamism of the silence, in its unearthly dignity and grandeur, and in the utter beauty of its every little act. The deep impress of divinity which everyone got was for him a priceless treasure. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother went inside. Immediately, Datta was inspired. In that silence, she spoke. The Lord has descended into the physical today. That 24th November should be given an importance equal to that of the birthdays of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. It's quite proper, because on that day the descent of the higher power, symbolic of the victory of their mission, took place. The delight consciousness in the overmind, which Sri Krishna incarnated as avatar, descended on this day into the physical, rendering possible the descent of the supermind in matter. Of this descent, Sri Aurobindo wrote on several occasions afterwards. In October 1935, he wrote as follows. It, the 24th November 1926, was the descent of Krishna into the physical. Krishna is not the supramental light. The descent of Krishna would mean the descent of the overmind Godhead, preparing, though not itself actually bringing, the descent of supermind and Ananda. Krishna is the Anandamaya. He supports the evolution through the overmind, leading it towards his Ananda. The names of those disciples who were present on 24 November 1926. 1. Bijoy Kumar Nag. 2. Nolini Kanta Gupta. 3. K. Amrita. 4. Moni Suresh Chakravarti. 5. Pavitra Philippe Barbier Saint-Hilaire. 6. Barindra Kumar Ghosh. 7. Datta Miss Hodgson. 8. K. Ranjangam. 9. Satyen. 10. Purani. 11. Leelavati, Purani's wife. 12. Poonam Chand. 13. Champa Ben, Poonam Chand's wife. 14. Rajani Kanta Palit. 15. Dr. Upendranath Banerjee. 16. Champaklal. 17. Kanailal Ganguly. 18. Kitish Chandra Dutt. 19. V. Chandra Sekaram. 20. Pujalal. 21. Purushottam Patel. 22. Rati Palit. 23. Rambhai Patel. 24. Nani Bala. To conclude, on what date in 1926 did Mother take up the work of the sadhana? Mother does not at all remember the exact date. It may have been a few days after 15th August. She took up the work completely when I retired. Sri Aurobindo, 17 May 1936. Namaste.